So, more cop anime, guys. President Core 1 episode 4. I have to say, I'm not super honestly satisfied with anime, right? I had a long meeting now for like 4 hours. That's why I'm later here. 3-4 hours meeting, yeah. So, not super excited. Might be the last reaction, I don't know. Let's review one. But on the same time, it's interesting, right? I mean, obviously I know a lot about Japan, right? I'm obviously a Japanese expert or whatever you call it, right? A weebo, but obviously much more expert than most people, right? Not just a language barrier that I don't have in the same extent, right? I'm not fluent. I wouldn't say I'm fluent, but obviously, like, I have a lot better understanding, right, than most people on those animes and so on, right? But I think so more, of course, that I'm a cultural guy, right? And I don't mean a man of culture joke, but I mean, I get cultures. I've done a lot of human research and so on. Right? I understand people working, and with all that being said, though, obviously I don't know everything about like Japanese cops, right? So I think I don't know. This anime, maybe it's not the best reaction anime review anime. I don't know. It's probably isn't a popular anime, but for me at least, I do think it's interesting. Just discussing like, oh, this is interesting. The cops do this thing, and this culture do this thing, and oh, this is a cultural thing. And one thing I think is fun with anime though is that a lot of stuff we see in anime, right, is something you would never see outside of Japan, basically, or maybe like Singapore and China and like South Korea. Right? And what I mean with that is that basically the cops do nothing, right? No, but just to take a context here. This morning before I started working, I watched this documentary, a Swedish documentary, a new one. It's a very famous Swedish documentary program called Uppdrag granskning. So I rarely watch Swedish stuff, right? Extremely rarely. But Uppdrag granskning I do watch though. Even if I live in other countries, even if I don't live in Sweden anymore, it's usually out on like Wednesdays. And yeah, that shit I watch because that is like the best thing Sweden has. We have this like legendary guy called Jan Nilsson. That was the investigating journalist guy. That 20 years. So it's very, very good. But anyway, for example, not to talk about too much here, but in today's episode, and I watched it, it's one of the few things I watch, seriously, from Sweden, right? And today it was about like this no-go zones, right? And all this violence, and throwing rocks at cops, and like, trying to order police movement, right? And this stuff, and they can't speak the language, and they're burning down the buildings. And I do remember that there was this is some university there, or it's not university, like college. There's some kind of like community college at that city, and that a woman, I believe, wrote some like really, really long text about how unsafe it to live there and how she wanted her money back, right? Because it was an international office from Chinese, I believe she was something. That hit viral news like maybe 2 years ago, or something like that. But anyway, I did read that and it was out there. So it's kind of about that, and so not about too much here, but if you're Swedish, we're talking about, it's very interesting to watch that, and then come to this anime, or like anime last week, right? The Cowboy and the Cop, because could you imagine in Japan having like, here's a policewoman, and these like Yankee guys are like, oh, we're gonna freaking get her and gang all her and that kind of shit, or throw rocks at them, right, and so on, yeah. So I think it's interesting too because they really do have a very different setting, right? And obviously anime is mostly probably true, right? I mean this is how it is in Japan, right? And I know this is how it is in Japan, right? For mostly, but that is kind of fun with anime too. It is so different. Obviously I know that, but like Japanese culture, right? And generally East Asian culture, it's so different. It's so safe, right? Say my aunt, she lived in Singapore for a bit. She said it too, right? Like she never felt so safe, right? Like my aunt has lived in many countries too, and yeah, one of her best friends is from Singapore as well, and etc. And she was there for a bit, and she was like the safest thing ever, right? It's like you can walk around naked basically in the street, right? No one wants to do anything. Yeah, it's like it's just that it's incredibly safe. I mean, it comes from this culture, right? Now it's turned into like a Japanese rebo. I love Japan. No, but it really comes from. You can complain about Japanese culture, right? Because obviously Japanese culture has no issues too, right? Like it's very, very rigid, right? It's very hard to move in the brackets, so to speak. It's hard to be, if you're middle class in Japan, it's hard to go up or down, right? I mean, it's very typical for a conservative society. It's very hard in that sense in Japan to marry outside of your stuff. That honestly it is, like kind of like you had earlier, right, in history. So they're still hard in Japan. They still have this burakemin stuff, right, which is very weird in Japan. So a lot of the yakuza are burakemins, which are like tainted people. And some people in Japan still, like, if you're like if you know that this guy's a burakemin, like, you might want to marry. Like there are females, men too, I guess, but mostly females that refuses to marry like Burakin men and so on, but also men too. But especially I think females dating a Burakin man might be like, no, I can't do that. They're tainted, so on. It's like a really weird thing. So yes, Japan has issues too, though, right, with their very like ordered society, right? But the benefit, right, is for cops like the main character here, because like what crime are they solving? Oh, this guy's like smoking. Yeah, like what crime are they solving? It's like, oh, it's like we have to stop this guy from doing this stuff. Yeah, it's very very like low bit, right? And instead they do all this other like community stuff and so on. Yeah, like this. But one thing I do like though, the whole idea of, right, the police in the box, right? It's the whole idea of this core, but it's a good idea though. You have your local little police station, right? Like for example, I lived in Gothenburg, right, for many years, second biggest in Sweden, and certainly Gothenburg has like maybe 3-4 police stations, something like that, right? It's like 600,000 inhabitants in Sweden, a million roughly. I think it's like 1.1 million is like metropolitan area, but like the downtown kind of city is like 600, 700,000, something like that, and about maybe 4.5 million if you count the suburbs, all the bigger metropolitan area. But anyway, it only has like 4 police stations, right? And one of them is huge, okay? I've been there with a friend once. It's a massive police station, okay? Massive. It's like freaking 10 floors, like gigantic, right? It's downtown. So it's located almost in the, but the point of course is that, but that means that, like where I lived, second proper I had in Gothenburg, where I live there, right? It's like in suburbs, it's like 20-25 minutes, right, for the closest cop, right? You know what I mean? Of course, they have cops, cars driving around and so on, but there's no, city. There's no like, they don't have any location there, right? So it's like at least like that, yeah. So certainly, it's like 1,000 cops in the city, great, but it's like no one out here, right? So I don't know. I think that the Japanese system is probably better where you, of course, they also have headquarters. They have like Tokyo, this thing, and so on, right? Or like Osaka's headquarters, whatever. Of course, they have that stuff, but they also have a lot of this, like these elements, these smaller little stations, right? And I think that makes you have a little community, and you have like this is a stational cop, right? That takes care of all issues in this area. I think that's just that makes sense to me. I like that, yeah. Just a little controller per area, right? It reminds me a little bit, honestly, kind of how they do it in the what's called, I guess like sea coast defense or whatever, like crimes on sea or whatever. But anyways, in my hometown, then it's a smaller Swedish city, right? Just north of Gothenburg, so very close to Gothenburg, but still like it. And it's it's the west coast, right? There's a lot of stuff, and some crime, of course. A lot of people stealing boats and so on. But anyway, in this region, they actually do have a lot of smaller, like coast guard or like police on the coast kind of thing. They have little tanks and so on. So there they have a more like, it feels like they almost have more of that than they have land cops in that area. But they have a little bases like where I grew up next to where I worked as a kid. They have they didn't have it as a kid, but they have a little like seaport cop thing. But it's next to the Navy though, so it's next to this huge Navy base. But I grew up working on the boats and so on, so it's next to like the military base there. So they also built like a little cop station in front of it. But actually it's a big military base because it's like the what's it called? It's military base plus like storage. So they have like gallons of gasoline and so on. Yeah, if it's war, like you can go and get stuff there. But anyway, let's watch it. See what happens, right? But I find this anime interesting because it's like very cultural difference, right? That's why, even though I know so much about East Asia, and I still feel interesting to see an anime like if you're gonna follow a cop again, right? Because I can just imagine if you make an anime about Swedish cops, it would have been like, oh, they are throwing rocks at me every day, and half the criminals are trying to arm me because I'm a woman, so that would be kind of it must be so different, holy shit. But I think this one thing I said before watch episode, the reason, right, and this is a very different element, a different video here, but the reason, of course, why these things can happen in like Sweden and could happen in Japan is because in Japan they would basically shoot the people, right? Yeah, they would be like, they would obviously arrest them all the time, and they would like Japan. The issue with Japan though, for better or worse, right, is that they have a very very high conviction rate, like too high. They clearly have the cops in Japan are very very forceful, right, to speak. So they get people arrested and so on, right? And they're and that is probably too forceful, honestly, in the kind of climate they have, honestly. But if they lived in, for example, in Swedish climate, they would be much better at, because then they would actually just arrest all the people that are doing petty crime and so on. Yeah, so they would actually get shit done, right? So it's like a big difference there. Yeah, Swedish capital is pointless. They don't do shit now. But anyway, so you know, it's catching it. Watching it. 3, 2, 1, and go. But that's a big thing, right? So this benefit of like highly kind of classical, you know, Japan still a feudal state. It's like the benefit, of course, is that yeah, the cops can really do some hardcore stuff right in Japan, right? And no one's gonna complain it's a criminal. But I mean, they actually can, because Japanese society, it's so, you know, society. It's a culture based around the community, right? You know, it's a culture based around I protect my neighbor, he protects me, and so on. So, you know, how say it? What's it called? The cops are popular in Japan, right? But generally speaking, the cops are trusted. Yeah, they have a high trust rate. So if the cops are like, this guy's guilty, and so yeah, okay, you know, so they have a very, very high. They have too high conviction rate though. That they're too trusted, honestly. But still, though, the benefit is that the cops can easily go into like a bad neighborhood and, you know, do some hardcore shit, right? And people aren't gonna complain. People are like, yeah, okay, the cops are right. That's how you panic, right? If you do it in America, people are gonna demonstrate and be like, no, you know, we're clearly racist or something. Yeah, they're gonna go crazy, right? Whatever happens, yeah. Even if a white guy dies, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in America. No, it doesn't matter. They're gonna be like, oh, this thing. And in Sweden, it's like. Sweden, nothing ever happens. I guess Sweden has the most cowardly. I don't think it actually is the cops' fault in Sweden. I think it's just the law and the system. In Sweden, you can't do anything, right? It's the opposite of Japan. In Sweden, no one has any trust in the cops whatsoever, right? It's like zero trust. And they also have no mandate, so they just can't do anything. So nothing happens. Like someone tries to shoot them, they're like, okay, we can't arrest them. The best thing is we can't arrest them, we can't arrest the animal. So nothing ever happens. Oh my god. This is turning into my anti-copy, you know. No, but honestly, I really, truly hate the society in Sweden, right? In that sense, because they have zero order, right? That's the issue in Sweden. It's like a reverse Japan. There's no order. Immensely crime. The only reason Sweden doesn't have so much crime is because the people itself are so ordersome. It's like, yeah. Sweden and Japanese society is very similar, so they're very ordersome, right? You know, the actual people, right? So more people don't do crime. But if you do crime in Sweden, it's very easy to get away with it. It's very weird. But I don't know, this is kind of like a missing man. Okay, this I could see though. Definitely could be a cop thing. Yeah, okay, this is fine. I mean, this is fine. No, but I mean, this though is of course same in most countries, right? Yeah, this is probably the least unique Japanese stuff so far in this anime. So obviously this man is lost right in the forest. So now they're getting the cops to try to find him. I mean, yeah, of course, it happens in every country. So this is actually, it's nothing to do with Japanese society. No, but I mean. Oh, a cute police dog? I like dogs, yeah! Ja, look at that. Chefer. Kakoi! Dog-sama! Inu-sama! Yeah, kakoi! Oh, that's good. She loves dogs. Doesn't love dogs. Yeah, so I had a chefer. He's dead, unfortunately, now. My first dog, I had 2 dogs, they're both dead. The one died recently, the dog, but my first dog that my father had, that was a kilogram, and he died, he was about 10. So, and I was 14, 15. So so we had him from 5 to 15, right? He was a Schäfer. Typical, you know, German, but yeah, German dog, but yeah. Also a popular dog in Sweden, Schäfer, was very popular, you know. He was a very big dog, K9 dog, yeah, very big dog. Like 60 kilograms, so very muscular, so yeah. Waku waku! I'm actually so happy for it. Waku waku! Inu-sama! Yes, he's so excited to have this dog. Okay, he's gonna, interesting. He's gonna teach us about cops dog. This is interesting because obviously police dogs is a thing we have in most countries, right? So this is not really specific. Yeah, it's not specific for, of course, Japanese. Yeah, society. So teaching us about police dogs, and this is of course same for, you know, America, whatever, right? You know, you have some dog trained to, you know, find drugs or whatever, right? Yeah. Yeah. Kawaii-chan, let's run! And she's like, oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, police dog training. Yeah, don't fall behind. They run a lot. Yeah, follow Inu-sama. But yeah, of course, it's a trained police dog in the forest, right? It's like, find the target. Yeah, the dog is just gonna run, right? Yeah, I like it. Yeah, the dog is just gonna run, you know. The dog is, of course, is gonna keep running. That is good, man. Don't, yeah, just run! Don't question it, yeah. It wanted to do a loop, you do a loop, man. Yeah, okay. I mean, she likes dogs, right? So she likes dogs. Yeah, just run, stop questioning it. Maybe she's happy, she's questioning it, yeah, like run. But yeah, I think she's trying to use a map or something, right? Trying to find Oh, it's like an oracle. Predicts weather. No, she's an old lady. Yeah, she's an old lady that's like, I think it's gonna rain. Yeah, it's just some old lady that's like, rain. Rainbow comes after rain and so on. Yeah, and those guys are some ranger, some kind of forest or whatever. Yeah, I mean, the kind of weird helmet, right? The color. Or maybe maybe they're fire. Oh, the fire squad? I guess it would make sense. Yeah, okay, no, they're firefighters. That makes sense too, yeah. Honestly, I feel this is more a firefighter thing in my opinion, right? That's usually how in Sweden and so on. This is more a firefighter thing, right? To send out firefighters to try to fight people in the forest. Yeah, it's not more I mean, it happens to cops too, right? My father used to be, a, what's called, a firefighter, but I mean, he was like part-time firefighter. It's like, they have the thing where you're firefighting 1 week per month. So, the older weeks, and also he's like not at the station. He's working from his own company. He works there, and then when they call him, he has to go in and help them, and then he has to drive to the fire station. So we have this kind of like, yeah, it's like part-time kind of off-duty firefighter kind of system. I don't recall really, but it's pretty common in Sweden in small cities. So you have of course some people that are working full-time, right? They're firefighter engineering and so on, right? And then he's one of these like firefighters that kind of get there when it's happened, right? So this is definitely something he's done many times, trying to find people in like, okay, so that looks very suspicious. Yeah, empty safe there is weird. Okay, yeah, she's like a bank robbery. I have to save the old man. I have to save an old man, but it's clearly a bank robbery over there. What? He's like all on furniture and like we didn't see that. Yeah, we don't time for the shit. Yeah, it's hot today. Yeah, we're gonna eat later. They have this like cute date there. Like, you're great. Neither of us saw that. No, I didn't see anything. I looked at your face. Yeah, I looked at your face. And here comes some random, crazy old people in the forest. Of course, like they're breaking the law. They're like, we can't arrest them. There's some stupid old people. You wanna get a ride too, girl? It's like, no. I love it. They're like, we kind of want to arrest them, but we can't, right? Yeah, there's some old crazy people in there. Yeah, but they're like, we can't just go and arrest some old people in the farmland, right? They're like, no, it's gonna be weird. There's some kind of like 60, 70-year-old farmer guys that they don't really follow the law in the same way like in the city. Yeah, they're like, we didn't see anything. Yeah, I was tying my shoes when they were driving by illegally. Itai! Yeah, Kawaii-chan! She fastened her face palm the ground there. Inu-sama owned her. Oh, she's crying now. Goddamn, Kawaii-chan! She's like, man, I keep such a horrible cop though. Yeah, what's she crying now for? She's crying because she fell down. Aren't you an adult? Yeah, it's like you fell on a wooden... Why is she crying so much for? That she can't be a cop anymore? She can't handle being a cop, it's too much work running after a dog. Can you cry when you get off the mountain? Okay, cry later. She's a horrible cop, honestly. The main case is dislikeable. The other woman is awesome, but she's the dislikeable main character. Yeah, you get a grip woman. Oh, she needs to go in the bathroom? That's the issue, okay. She needs to go in the toilet. He's like, what the hell is happening? He's like, awkward! What? She's like, you're so corrupted! He's like, what? Stupid men! I can't go to the bathroom out here! It's like, that's the issue, she can't go on the toilet in the woods. She gets water from him. Yeah, maintain your health, woman. But honestly, I find her very dislikeable. This kind of issue has the anime. This scene definitely doesn't make me like that anymore. It was kind of kawaii, but also really stupid. Like I said, like, what's wrong with you? You're an adult. Stop crying. You just felt like, I don't think this was mean to her, right? Because she's crying, and they're like, what have you done? Yeah. Yeah, don't think she's, you know, don't think he was being mean to her, right? Or trying to awe her, yeah. They're like, oh no, she's crying, what do you do, right? Okay, they found him, so nothing happened with these guys. These two started crying. He probably was never lost, right? Nah, I love it. The old lady with the weather powers. She found it. That was so good. The old lady was like, maybe he's lost in that region, yeah. But honestly, maybe the old lady is no shitter. She was like, oh, I know him. He's been a boy for 60 years. She might just be like, his favorite place is the mountain in the west, you know. I could imagine the old lady, she knows everyone. She probably is just like, she knows who the old man is, right? Yeah, she's probably like 100-year-old lady, right? So she's probably like, oh, that kid, he loves to play in that, you know, in the blue leaf region over there in that mountain. Yeah, so she probably just kind of figured it out, right, by her knowledge about everyone in the village, right? But still, I think it's kind of cute. Oh, the old oracle lady found him. What? Yeah, she's just crying. Oh, it's awkward. And Ian somebody do anything, I guess. He's cute though. Yeah, but he was kawaii though. He was kawaii. Yeah, he was kawaii. He had that going for him. He was a cute little doggy. But honestly, I talk about the review, right? But yeah, the main character is very noob. She's horrible at the job, really. So far, she's been a bad cop in every episode, honestly. Yeah, she's been a bad policewoman in every episode. She's been a miserable. She never picks up any clues, right? She's a really bad policewoman. It's probably the worst police I've ever seen in any kind of police drama. Like, honestly, yeah. Because usually they have this like rookie that's like a, you know, too hot-headed, right? And they have maybe some genius little girl or whatever. But this woman is stupid. She's very bad at finding any clues. And also she had like a little mental breakdown because she fell on a freaking like branch in the forest. I mean, who hasn't fallen on branches, right? Did I cry at 5? Sure. But if I was out now in the forest falling, like, I wouldn't cry, goddammit. I would be like, oh yeah, shit happens, you know, like I'm sorry, but if you cry, you're an adult woman falling down, that is pretty pathetic. That is pretty pathetic. I mean, it was one thing if everything happens to you in the same shit, right? Like your husband cheats on you and you fall on a branch or whatever. Yeah, sure. I mean, context matter. But her context is that she was tired running after a wolf. Maybe, basically, yeah. In the forest, the dog living in the wolf life, you know. She was like, oh, she's happy, you know, he's turning into a wild animal dog and I'm tired of it. Yeah, it was just like, no. But anyway, so now there are traffic cops, I guess. Yeah, so now they're doing the classic, you know, I guess the boring, with the direct traffic, I guess. Feels like the most boring cop job ever. You have to just stand there. Yeah. Kawaii-chan with that red... yeah, like one of these... I mean, sure. I mean, it's like a race, you know, we have to like, you know, operate society, right? Something is happening, yeah. We have to manually change traffic. I mean, again, this though, I feel is a typical cop job, right? In many countries, so sure. What? Did she just like... What? Did she just break up the whole city? What was it a nightmare? Did it happen? No, yeah, I guess it was a nightmare because come on, you can't just have like 10 cars crashing and everyone dying. What? That'd be so weird. Yeah, I guess she's trying to locate some criminals. Yeah. I mean, I guess certainly, if it's a traffic cop, they can of course call you and say, "Oh, we're looking for, you know, this guy with the mohawk. He's running this direction, right?" Oh, I will go. I must see it. I wanna work the light. Oh my god, she's a horrible cop. Yeah, her face is pretty. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. Yeah, let me go over there. Yeah, it's like, okay, I wanna try to find him. Yeah, okay, so she. It's like times it don't work, right? Oh, that's clearly him though, with the purple mohawk. Looks like isn't it the same guy? Looks almost like the same him, but with blonde. He was usually blonde, but now it's purple. Yeah, he looks incredibly suspicious in the Japanese society. She's like, can I arrest him? Oh gosh, she's so incompetent. Oh, she's so bad. If he runs, I can't catch up, right? Shoot him. Konnichiwa! Yeah. I guess I'm gonna have to try to slowly approach him here, yeah. He's just like, what? Yeah, that is a cat. Oh my god. This is when you pick up the gun and stun. This is when you taser him. He's very afraid. He's gonna run, of course. Well, I guess you have to run that now then. I should probably call in for assistance, right? Yeah, this feels that she should be running and calling, pressing a button and be called. She has some kind of radio here, right? Call in for assistance. Yeah, I'm chasing him at. This feels that she should call in and say, like, I'm chasing him at, you know, street F, right, you know? Well, you're a cop though. She's really bad at her job, honestly. Yeah, she's really bad at her job. But maybe she's gonna like her job now then, because yeah, now it's like a movie, right? She's like, yeah, I'm chasing him in the street. People are like, woo, Gambaran! Yeah, I guess she's gonna like, yeah, you know, get the Gambaran now. Yeah, but she's gonna fail probably. So that might be bad, but yeah, I don't want to give up. Stop cheering for me. I wanna quit. Okay, it's pretty cute now. She's like, don't give me support. I'm a horrible policewoman. Stop bothering me. Yeah. Okay, it was pretty good though. It was pretty good. Yeah. He was running that direction, lady. Yeah, you got to. Damn it! I don't want to chase him. Yeah. I just wanna like go home. People keep telling her he's running. Now because everyone is like assisting her, so she can't stop chasing him. Yeah, that's good. Hey, over here, police lady. Yeah, it's just a red plastic. Doesn't she have like a taser list? Is she armed? Yeah, but isn't she armed though? Isn't she a policewoman with like a gun or something? Please hit me. yeah, then I can get discharged, you know, yeah. Please attack me so I can get discharged with a broken arm or something. Holy shit. She's a loser. She's like, hopefully he beats me up so I can, like, you know, get discharged. She's just a horrible policewoman. Hopefully that guy breaks my legs or something so I can stop working. Like, god damn it. Like, what's wrong with her? Holy shit. This woman. This old lady here is like... Oh, did he say sorry? Yeah, I guess he did, running into her garden. The lady's like, yeah, whatever. The old lady's like, yeah, shit happens. Like, yeah, whatever. And when you pella joner, oh god. Because she's finally calling for backup. Are you breathing too hard? I can't understand what you're saying, woman. Stop breathing slower. What? So, yeah. Well, he's probably like kid panicking. I was gonna be in the water and, you know, I guess you have to save him now. That's a good image, yeah. I just have to save him now here. And everyone keeps helping her. Gambare! She's like, god damn it, I don't want to. Stop telling me what I have to do. You know, the kids are like, you gotta go down there or puff this lady. Like, god damn it. Yeah, she's gonna fall, right? God damn it. She's like, I don't wanna go. Stupid kids. Stupid kids, don't tell me what to do. Oh my god. Nah, don't worry about it. It was barely even a good crime. He was just some like driver. He drove without a driver license. He wasn't even like a serious criminal. It wasn't like a murderer or something. He wasn't like some guy. He was just like whatever. He was like a fine. It was like $100 fine for that guy. It wasn't even a big deal. Here goes the race, of course. Oh my god, run with the wind again, baby. Oni senpai. Yeah, this guy loves being a motorcycle cop guy. Oh, she has short hair back in this? Yeah, yes. Yeah, used to be a short hair girl. Oh, she's all crying here. Todo-chan! He left being a cop. Yeah, not like the main character. But she kind of almost died jumping down that in the water of the river. Yeah, so, you know. She did her best to cop that guy. That was like $100 fine guy. It's like, oh, I'm gonna die, hate me a cop. Worst cop ever. Like, goddamn it. Nice. She called with alcohol. I guess that's how you make her stay in the force. She's like, you want some alcohol? Yeah, it's like, come on, shut up and drink with me, woman. Yeah, okay, that's such a, you know, gives her morale boost here. She gives her, you know, chips and alcohol. Yeah, she smashes her, seduces her. Yeah, gets her drunk and, you know, takes her in bed. Yeah, that's also a way to, you know, retain your best friendship, kohai senpai relationship. Yeah, you get her drunk and get her in your bedroom. Yeah, so. Good strategy, the smug face there. That's right, yeah. The smug face, I got her, yeah. Weird. Yeah, okay. It is very Japanese, though. That is true, though. Drinking is very Japanese. One thing I don't like with Japanese culture, you know, also, right? You know, I say it all the time, right? You know, like, obviously I'm a weebo, so I'm like Japanese culture, right? But when we're on this cultural anime, it's obviously very cultural, right? It is, of course, true that Japanese society has way too much alcohol. Like that's one of the things I would say I easily dislike, right, in Japanese culture. Maybe one of the biggest things, because it is very, very common though in Japanese culture that you're gonna drink a lot. I mean, it's like yeah, it's very, very common, right? After work you drink a lot and so on. Go to isekai and drink and so on. Yeah. So this is very authentic though. Of course, she's like, come on, girl, shut up and drink with me. Okay? I'm gonna get you hammered, okay? I'm gonna freaking get you all naked dancing or whatever. Yeah, we're gonna have like a weird alcohol party here. Let's shut up and drink. Yeah, like that is very, very Japanese though. So it's very, very common drinking a lot after work, right? So it doesn't feel strange actually that she is like, oh, she's like really sad that she broke her hand or something doing this chase. I'm gonna just give her a little alcohol. Yeah, and she comes home really crying, you know, bleeding. And she's like, how can I fix that? I don't know. I'm gonna get drunk and actually do her. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just gonna like smash her. I don't know. It's it does feel Japanese, but I love this thing though that she's trying, right, to stop, you know, she's trying to not, you know, chase after him. She's like, I don't care, like whatever, I don't want to be a cop anymore. And she's like, I'm gonna find him. It goes off on some rail, you know, and like I'm not even trying to be a cop anymore. I just wanna like get paid, you know, just walk around the street, you know. And then she's chasing after him. It's like, oh, I lost him. How bad, you know. Oh, finally, I lost him. And then everyone is like, oh dear, officer lady, oh, I find him, gambare. She's like, oh, arigato, stupid people. I love it, yeah. Like, she kept running around her being all annoyed, right? She kept trying to not, basically, she kept trying to not capture him, yeah. She kept trying to, like, not capture him. And then everyone is like, gambare, police lady. And she really is like, I don't want to. I don't want to, yeah, like, no, I don't want to chase him. And then we see this kid here, you know, the kids, and this woman, this little girl is like, Gambare! You can do it! She's like, no, I don't want to do it! Leave me goddamn alone! That was really fun, though. Yeah, that was fun. She keeps trying to not be a good cop, right? but she can't stop chasing when like, everyone is like, Gambare, oh my god, you can do it, and so on. Yeah, she can't like stop, of course, chasing with the children, or like, I believe in you, and so on. Yeah, and then she can't, of course, stop chasing, right? It wouldn't be a good police woman, right? She has to be, I'll say it, has to make a good effort, right, in front of the kids at least, yeah. But anyway, this in here, what can I say? It honestly makes me kind of want to drop the anime, because yeah, she's not Takemichi, but she's honestly very dislikable. I mean, she's so dislikable. I keep saying it, I said episode 1 and 2 and 3 as well, right? But this is incredibly dislikable main character. I mean, of course, as I said earlier, I understand all the review. I understand that she's supposed to be the noob, right? She's the new recruit, so she can't be best at everything, unless it's kind of a Gabby sub character, right? Where she can't be, good at everything. So that's good too. That is good. I mean, it would be bad also if she was perfect at everything, right? That would make sense, yeah. Hate that, right? The man shows, right? When you have the new main character being this genius girl, the best in everything. It's just crap too, right? But this girl is the opposite. She's bad at everything instead. Yeah, like so we have a lot of shows, right? Not so much anime. It's more TV shows, of course, but also in some anime. You have this character, right? This good at two-shoe character, best in everything. You know what I mean? That's a bad character. That's an annoying character, right? That is good at everything and so on. It's usually also, I think, a very dislikable character, because they don't feel very human. That's why most stuff, right, from DC, Marvel and so on is pretty crap these days, right? And of course, a lot of Western shows, because you make these new TV shows or whatever, right? And people, of course, know what I'm saying here indirectly. I mean, usually it's a female character, but also the male character. I don't think it's the female character, but certainly it's most prevalent with female characters, but also with male characters, right? They're like too perfect, they can do everything and so on, right? They have no flaws and so on. And that's just a very boring character, because that's an uninteresting character, right? And that's fortunately one reason why most of this new stuff sucks, right, from America and so on. But also from some Japanese stuff, not everything, but some stuff. But this girl is she's like Takemichi light, She's the opposite. She's bad at everything instead. Instead of having no flaws, right, that you see in a lot of female characters, especially with police women female characters in American shows, very common. She's the reverse. She's like bad at everything instead, right? Yeah. So instead of being like, a boring female character because she's perfect at everything, which is much more common, of course, but that's boring, right? Because that person has like nothing can really happen to them. Everything, just works their way, right? They have no emotional issues, right? They're just perfect, and they can't grow as a character or whatever. So they're really boring. But this girl instead is like, she's just really bad at everything, yeah. So it's also boring because she just faces everything instead. And then that makes her predictable too, right? She's predictable and she can't really grow because she's just so bad, so you can't ignore it. But she really does remind of Takemichi, yeah. She really is like a Takemichi character. Really so, with the crying scene. But generally speaking, she is very Takemichi, because Takemichi in Tokyo Revengers is a horrible main character, the worst I've ever seen in my life. And he also has the issue, right? They use like this main character, that they're both so bad at everything. Yeah, like he's the same issue, right? He's also so bad at everything. Whatever he does, it never works out. He's always just like, oh no, I'm gonna do this thing, whatever. No, but I won't talk too much here, but like Takemichi is perfect in that sense, right? Perfect as in a bad way, yeah. Like that has the issue all the time. It's like, why doesn't he ever invest in anything, right? That's what I was thinking about him mostly. He never invests into anything. And with that, of course, as I said earlier in more reviews with Tokyo Revengers, when I say invest, right, do I mean money? Yes, of course, mostly, but no. But invest can be anything, right? If you go to the gym, right, you get the muscles, you're like, oh, look at me, I'm lifting some dumbbells, you're like, oh yeah. Then you're investing your time and effort, right, to get stronger, right? You invest the time, right, to get the biceps going, yeah. So you invest time, right, to be able to do this thing, like, yeah, whatever, right? And you invest time into having a longer life, probably, because, if you never exercise, you get fat, right? And then you have a shorter lifespan and so on, right? Obviously, like being fat, for example, is of course one of the leading causes for, premature death, right? And then goes smoking and so on, right? So, another way to invest can be to not, eat bad stuff, right? Or smoke or whatever, right? Yeah. There's one kind of investment, right? Another kind of investment, straight investment, it's like, I'm gonna buy this stock, right? I'm gonna buy like $1,000 in Google. But Google is like 2,000, I think, 500. So okay, one stock is like $2,500, but whatever. get my point, you know, I'm gonna buy that, right? Okay, then I invest that, right? And hopefully in the future, Google is worth like 3,000 or whatever. It's fallen down since last year, so it's been like 3,000, yeah. So, you know, I can make like $500, right? You know, okay. And then I said, yeah, that's an investment, right? I can do many kind of investment. I can buy a house, you know what I mean? Takemichi's issue is that he never invests anything. And I mean literally anything, right? Because he's a time traveling guy. He never invests into stocks. That's stupid. He knows it's gonna be into fights, right? He never invests into martial art, right? He never invests into training. Even though he's getting into like a fight every episode, he never learns how to fight. That's really stupid. That's really, really stupid. He never invests his time or effort into becoming a better fighter. Even though people keep fighting him all the time, and his girlfriend's about to die all the time, right? Yet he never does that. That's really ridiculous. So for example, right, if he set his teenage self to start training, right, he would be more muscular as a grown up, you know what I mean? And that sounds very like basic because, like, yeah, of course, if you train more as a teenager, you would be stronger as an adult, probably, you know, most of the time, if time traveling, sure. But the issue in the anime is that with the time traveling, he knows his girlfriend's gonna die in the future. So he's just training, you know, to be generally better fit, right? He's training, if he trained, to be better fit and have a higher likelihood to save her life, right? That's why it's such a different anime with the time traveling so on investment. He never does that. So he's a horrible main character. Anyway, but you know, this woman is very similar, yeah. She's like, oh, I'm suck at everything, I'm not good at everything, and she never seems to improve at all at anything, and that is very Takemichi. She doesn't seem to be able to like, how do I say it, improve her position, right? You know what I mean? Like she doesn't seem to be able to have the intelligence or the perseverance or whatever, or none of these things, to try and either improve either, right? She does the same shit, doesn't learn from her mistakes and so on. I mean, it's a frustrating character. She really reminds Takemichi, because that's a very Takemichi thing too. That she's just like, yeah, like she's just like, oh no, this thing happened to me, and he's like, yeah, stop crying. Like you can. Yeah, the male cop guy is like, why are you crying for? You know, why are you crying for? You can stop crying. He's like, stop goddamn crying. You're grown as a woman, right? You're like a 23-year-old woman or something. Like, Jesus Christ, right? And he's like, you know, yeah, stop, you know, with that belly aching, right? And that, of course, I think he's 100% right on. That, like, why is she crying for? Like, I think it really makes her dislikable, right? Because she's dislikable in many ways, but as I mentioned, dislikable as in being just really bad, right? Just be really incompetent. Okay, that's frustrating. That's very Takemichi, right? You know, crying also against Takemichi, but that's not why I see the similarities. I see the similarities, as I said, in the way that, like, you know, she doesn't like do anything good, right? You know, she like doesn't improve anything, and also as I mentioned, then she doesn't try to like invest her time, right? She doesn't try to like become better either, right? Instead of taking the time to learn like the traffic how it works, she's like, oh, how can I escape this thing? How can I, you know, not do anything? How can I like not? Yeah, how can I not work, right? You know, that's kind of her take on it. Like, how can I not improve my standpoint or whatever, right? You know, I mean, like that's kind of what she's going for, and that feels like, yet again, right, a very like Takemichi way to do it, yeah. So that all that stuff is there, right? Which again makes her like a Takemichi, female Takemichi, yeah. Which makes her the female Takemichi. A cop instead of Yakuza, yeah, reversing that role, but makes her very, very Takemichi. But I think that is a true issue. And then the second issue is that, as I mentioned, right, she has this thing that you used to see itself that she's crying in it for. It's just so stupid because it's like, it just feels like a goddamn child, right? You know, like it's just so stupid. Like, how many times haven't I fallen and tripped as an adult? Not that many, actually, thinking about it. But honestly not, because, well, the few times I have tripped as an adult, almost no one of them I ever hurt myself, because I did a lot of, course, judo and taijutsu and so on, right, for many, many years. So I have like something like 13 years or 14 years of like this kind of, you know, martial art. I mean, specifically with martial arts that are about throwing people and sweeping them and so on, like judo and so on, jiu-jitsu, taijutsu, and Brazilian jiu-jitsu training too. So So those martial arts train you how to fall, right? So every time I fall when I'm out, I'm able to, like, you know, do like a somersault or do like a recovery to hit your hands so you don't hit your organs. Yeah. So it's honestly one of the most used techniques. Side note, but I really point out one of the most used techniques you can have in your life, right? You can learn from martial art. Truly is fall technique. It's called, you know, fall technique. Yeah, fall technique, damage technique. Called basically like recover technique. Right? You know how to recover, right? Because even if you're not in a fight, right, you're gonna trip every now and then, you know. Even if you're not gonna fight, you might trip at home, right? You might trip when you're out walking, right, and so on. And every time it happened to me, I have never like taken any damage from tripping, which sounds like a weird brag, but I really mean it because I have tripped a few times as an adult, right? But every time I trip, I used to do like a somersault, right? I do this side fall thing, and then I used to roll around, and then I get up again. You know what I mean? So I don't like take a damage, right? I mean, once or twice, of course, I hurt a little back. Maybe, you know, maybe my arm is a little scratched. Of course, like you get slightly, you know, oh, I got some, you know, like rocks in my hand or whatever. You know what I mean? Sure, so I mean, obviously slight damage. So if you fall, like in a forest, even if you manage to, of course, do like a correct fall recovery, you're still gonna maybe hit a little bit of your arm, might bleed very slightly, but not like actual damage. And of course, the issue, I mean, the goal, most the goals is to, okay, how do I fall without damaging my organs, right? You know, my organs, my head, and so on. Yeah, only taking damage in, like, you know, like in the arms or maybe the knees or like the legs or yeah. That's the goal, right? So certainly you might have a little blood on your arm or something in worst case scenario, but you shouldn't take any damage, you know, to your heart or your lungs or your spleen or whatever. That's kind of the goal, right? So I mean, so that's what I mean when I say no damage. No damage, I mean no damage to the actual like organs, right? But certainly, like, you know, you fall and if you fall on like pavement, right, or whatever, right, some harder concrete or whatever, you will scrape your hand. You will likely bleed in your hand afterwards. If you had full body armor, so to speak, but if you have gloves on you and so on, you might get completely, you know, scratch free, right? But if you don't have any gloves on you and you have to fall on like concrete, you probably will start bleeding your hand or whatever. Probably. But I mean, not always though. Usually happens to me is that I get these like small, you know, like scars, right? You know, I mean, but they don't actually bleed, yeah, like the skin doesn't break. But anyway, I mean, side note, but I generally feel that if there's one thing you should learn from martial art, it truly is how to recover from a fall, right? Because you're gonna fall in life and so on, and get that balance, and generally and also like balance, I guess, generally speaking, because if you train a lot of martial art, like, you know, whatever, taekwondo, whatever, martial arts, you learn how to balance your body, right? So I usually I don't fall often. Like sometimes I'm about to trip, right? Like I'm staggering, but then I just jump and I kind of get my balance back. That's stupid, but I'm being honest here, right? Because if you have a really good balance in one leg, and you feel that, okay, hey, I tripped something, you're about to trip, you can recover that, right? By, you know, balancing your hands and this stuff you learn in taekwondo and kickboxing and Thai boxing and so on. You learn how to, you know, balance your legs, right? Balance your arms so you can kick in someone's face, right? So if you know how to do that, you also have a lot of, like, you know, your balance recovery, like before you fall, is also much heightened, right? So, but anyway, of course, what I'm talking about here, we're talking about a girl fell and she started crying. The little girl fell because she's a bad cop and she hasn't trained martial art, and she's really fallen down. If she was a martial artist, she would probably recover that. But honestly, that's perfect of it. She fell down, right? It's an anime, I know, but still, she fell down, hit her face in the ground. That shouldn't happen, right? You know, if you know how to fall, you're never gonna fall like that and hit your face. You're gonna hit your arms, right? You know what I mean? You're gonna the most hardcore recovery or fall technique is when you jump just like that and you have to land with your hands. If you try to judo, and it's very uncomfortable because basically it's like someone throws you straight down on the floor, right? And you cannot move you can't twist or whatever to reduce the damage. You have to use purely basically grab it with your face. Almost, but you have your hands in the way, right? It's a very, very comfortable kind of, it's like bam, this kind of just plank kind of fall, right? Because naturally, in reality, someone throws you, you're gonna be able to twist or whatever, so you won't fall flat down like an idiot. But there are a few techniques where you actually are gonna land that, very brute techniques. So basically, you do this training, and yeah, it's very comfortable to doing it because it's very, very like face flat kind of falling, but of course, the technique is to not hit your head, right? You know what I mean? Your arm hit your head, but the technique is, of course, to only hit your arms, right? So your head is safe, right? Because that's how you know. So honestly, yeah, I find it kind of stupid. She's like a trained cop. It makes me dislike her more, right? She's supposed to be a trained policewoman. Like, she clearly has, you know, probably done some martial art training as a policewoman in. But yeah, this is like ridiculously bad, you know. Obviously, it's anime, it's a comedy, but you know what I mean. This is like head, face, flat down, right? This is how no martial arts ever do it, right? Because first of all, if we ignore, okay, okay, whatever, let me phrase it. Second, I mean, first of all, you wouldn't even get into this position to begin with. But if you ignore that for now, then here obviously you have your hand, right? You will fall and you will have your hand in front of your face. No one falls like that, right? That's just stupid, you know what I mean? I mean, of course, comedy. But I think it kind of begs on this anime's like dislikability that the main character is so incompetent that she can't even protect her face. Like, she's an idiot, you know what I mean? Because if I fall down, right, I'm not gonna fall at this. This is just stupid. Like, you don't have to train to be able to do this kind of thing. Obviously, this is not the best way to do it. You should do it like that, okay? This is how you hit way like that. This is kind of how you do it, okay? You cannot land like that, right? This is how you want to land. If you fall this way, kind of like in this position, okay? But even if you don't know how to do that, obviously you do something like this, right, to protect your face. She's just like, she just falls down, face first. It looks really stupid. Like, this is a really asinine person would fall like this, right? And it doesn't even feel natural because it's like, come on, like, who wouldn't beat your face, right? So that's the one thing. But secondly, then, you wouldn't even fall like this, right? Because if I trip or something, you know, in the forest, I'm gonna fly like that, right? You know, if I trip, I'm gonna, you know, twist, right? You know, I'm gonna twist myself. I'm gonna land on my side or on my back, kind of side back, right? You know what I mean? I'm gonna twist my body, right, so I can land on my arms, you know, and get that kind of this kind of technique, you know. I'm gonna land like that, right? And this is again something she should know, right? You know, I don't have a hard time believing this character. She's so incompetent because, you know, like what cop doesn't go through like basic martial art training or something, right? She's so dislikable, insanely dislikable. And again, right, she started crying too. It's just the whole scene. I mean, yes, I know it's a comedy, okay? So I have to say this thing. I guess in her defense, in Kawaii's defense, she's more likable than Takemichi for many reasons. But in one way, though, this is also more likable because it's a comedy, right? Tokyo Revenger has jokes in it, but it's some kind of, you know, drama, shonen, right, with jokes, you know. Sometimes it goes very silly, but still it's like an anime about people killing each other and so on, right? It's an anime about like murder and so on. But this anime is pure comedy, like comedy, educational, slice of life thing. So it's a little more acceptable that this cat's kind of like, oh no, I'm kawaii and I fell down, you know. Yeah, it's a little more like silly, so to speak. So that, in her defense, though, that is true. The anime is a little more like, you know, it's just a comedy. It's just like a not serious comedy. But that being said, though, it just feels like the anime is relying too heavily on having her just being bad at everything. She can't even fall down, okay? She has zero martial art technique. Really annoys me, right? Obviously. And then she comes in there, started crying, and the guy is like, what's wrong with her? Like, you're like a grown-ass, like 20-something woman, right? Like a 23-year-old cop lady falls on a branch and started like weeping. And she's weeping for like a minute too, yeah. The scene's freaking for like 3-4 minutes. It's like, oh, I hate her. I can't go to the bathroom. I hate men. Yeah. And he's just like, God damn it, you're embarrassing yourself. Yeah, you know, because it's just embarrassing. It's like, holy shit, man. It's like if a 3-year-old does that, you would be, oh, it's a kid, you know. Little girl falls down, started crying. Like, mommy, yeah, it makes sense, right? But you can't be like 23 and do like a little fall and be like, oh, I want to quit my job. I hate me. Where's my mommy? Yeah, oh god. She's like a freaking, oh, so dislikable. Holy shit. She's so, yeah, started crying there. Oh, that was bad. And then the next scene, it was way funner, of course. I mean, don't get me wrong. Actually, I mean, the next part I really thought was funny. She kept trying to chase him and kept trying to fail, but he kept, you know, kept helping her. So it was really funny, but still it makes her dislikable, right? Because the whole idea is that she doesn't want to do work. She's just like, I'm gonna try to find that guy. She just leaves to like, haha, but they were paying for nothing, you know, yeah. This is likable. And then she finds him, and then she's like, oh no, I have to fail this. How can I fail, you know? So it's kind of funny, but at the same time, she definitely doesn't feel like a good main character, right? Like she's trying to fail. But certainly the second thing was funny though. The jokes work way better. She keeps trying to fail, right, and everyone prevented from failing. So yeah, but at the same time, there was one scene that certainly, again, it's a comedy, and I did laugh at it, but I also felt like, okay, she's like, hopefully he can like turn around and beat the crap out of me. Yeah, you're like, hopefully he's gonna arm me. She's like, oh yeah, it would be great if that guy could like, you know, pull down my pants and arm me, and then I can be like dishonorably charged, and he can break my leg or something and get me like that. That would be awesome. And you're like, what? Yeah, that feels so weird too. She's just like, hopefully he turns around and, you know, beats me up or something, or, you know, assaults me sexually or something. That'd be great. You're like, what? Kind of like that. Yeah, she's like, hopefully he turns around and she's like, what if he turns around and breaks my arm or something? It would be awesome. Then I can just like stop being a cop, you know, when I can be like, yeah. And that was a really weird scene. She was like, oh, that would be awesome. Yeah, here she's like, he broke my arm or hurt me, you know, he grabbed my boob or something. Yeah, he grabbed that shit and now I can like retire as a cop. Oh, it's great. A perfect plan. I hope to get beaten up severely by the criminals so I can stop working. You're like, what? Yeah, that's what I mean with the investment, right? It's very Takemichi. She's like, oh, what if I, you know, get brutally assaulted by the criminals? Then I can just stop being it. Great plan. You're like, oh, that's my future strategy. Then I can do that thing, get married, now it's awesome. Yeah, like, oh my god, like, oh, it's so Takemichi. Holy shit. Anyway, guys, have a great day. See you guys tomorrow, of course, with Arifurata and, of course, Osama Ray.